Welcome back to Section 3 and 4, Lesson 2 of Video 1. Here we're going to be writing equations in slope-intercept form. And we previously wrote equations in slope-intercept form, but we are always given the slope and the y-intercept. Here we're going to be given the slope and a point. So let's begin. Example 1 says, determine the equation of the line that has a slope of 6/11 and passes through the point -33, 9. So the first thing we're going to do is plug our slope into the equation y equals mx plus b. So since our slope is 6/11, we can write this as y equals 6/11x plus b. Now to find b, we're going to take our given point and plug that into the equation for the x and y values, meaning we're going to replace x with -33 and y with 9. So if you do that, you get this here. 9 equals 6/11 times -33 plus b. So now we need to simplify this to solve for b. Now I do notice that -33 is being multiplied by a fraction. So if you like to change -33 to a fraction as well, you can. Now we just need to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. But before you multiply, it's always a good rule of thumb to try to reduce if possible. And I do notice that -33 and 11 can both be divided by 11. So let's do that. If I divide -33 by 11, I get -3, and 11 divided by 11 is 1. So now multiplying this together, I get 6 times -3, which is -18, and then I got to divide that by 1 times 1, which is 1. Now when I do that, I get 9 equals -18 plus b. Now in order to solve for b, I want to isolate b by bringing that -18 over to the left-hand side, and when I do that, it becomes 9 plus 18. And simplifying that gives me a b value of 27. Now that we have our slope and y-intercept, we can go ahead and write the equation. So we get y equals 6/11x plus 27. Now let's repeat those steps again for b, where we have to find the equation of the line that has a slope of -3 and passes through the point -5, 7. So as a reminder, here's the steps. So we'll start by plugging in our slope, which is -3, into y equals mx plus b. So when we do that, we get this. Next we can take our point, -5, 7, and replace our x and y variables with those values. When we do that, we get 7 equals -3 times -5 plus b. Now we're going to simplify this and solve for b. So we'll multiply -3 and -5 together to give us plus 15. And to solve for b, I'm going to take that 15 and bring it over to the left-hand side. And when I do that, it becomes 7 minus 15. Now simplifying that, I get a b value of -8. So now that we have our slope and y-intercept, we can write the equation. We have y equals -3x minus 8. Now for the last question, it says we got to find the equation of the line that passes through the point -2, 1/2 and has a slope of 3/4. So plugging in 3/4 into our equation gives us y equals 3/4x plus b. Now replacing x with -2 and y with 1/2 in for the x and y values, we get this. Now to solve for b, I note that this is similar to a previous example where we can change -2 into a fraction, so feel free to do that. And now you can see that -2 and 4 can reduce. They can both be divided by 2. So that leaves us with a -1 up top and 2 in the bottom. So now multiply those fractions. 3 times negative 1 and 2 times 1 gives you 1/2 equals negative 3 over 2, and then plus b. So we're still working on the solving for b step. We got to bring that negative 3 over 2 to the left, and now add them together. Now they already got a common denominator, so we just need to add 1 plus 3 together to give you 4. So b is 4 over 2, or just simply 2. So now our last step, write the equation. We would have y equals 3 over 4x plus 2. So that's how you can write the equation in slope-intercept form when you're given the slope and a point.